Hi, it's Derek Blasberg. We're at Zara Talks, and today's guest is Mario Sorrenti. This is the second day of Zara Talks. I'm going to do this. Mario, you'll be forced to listen to me read this biography, which will be awkward and painful for you, but you can act like it's new information. So Mario is an Italian-American photographer and director whose practice is rooted in intimacy, clarity, and atmosphere. Working across portraiture, fashion, and editorial photography, he has developed a visual language that merges emotional realism with high-impact composition. Sorrenti's work often reflects long-standing creative relationships and a focus on storytelling through the body. Mario Sorrenti X Zara 50th Anniversary Printed Puffer is an oversized unisex puffer that applies a personal lens to outerwear by channeling Mario's photographic vision into a striking and functional garment. The abstract artwork, printed across the entire surface, derives from one of Sorrenti's images, and the silhouette echoes the kind of voluminous outerwear Sorrenti habitually favors. A subtle signature is hidden on the interior lining that underlies the authorial touch in a design that's both practical and poetic. So thank you for being here today, Mario.
Thank you.
And now so now we dig in. They've started some questions here for us, Mario. But if there's if there's anything that you want to talk about, we're obviously here to talk. We're going to start at the very beginning, if that's okay. You've said in the past that your work is your life, and your life is your work. When did that motto come into practice, and when did you get your first camera?
Okay. Well, I first started taking pictures when I was 18 years old, and it was just, before that I was painting and doing sculpture, so photography was just an extension of what I was trying to do with sculpture and painting, and I think when you're that age, there's no distinction between your beliefs, your work, your life, your day-to-day, everything kind of blends together. And that has been something very, very important to me, that everything that I do is authentic to the way I live, to what I believe in.
You grew up in New York, right?
I grew up in New York, yeah. I was born in Italy, in Naples. My father is a painter. My mom is been in fashion all her life, and she's a stylist and a photographer as well.
I saw your mom last night at Schiaparelli. She's
Yeah.
still in the fashion.
Yeah, she's still doing the rounds and stuff. So, yeah, my work is all, and it still is today. It's everything that I do is a very personal point of view. Even when I'm doing commercial work, it still becomes something very intimate for me. Yeah.
One of your first big commercial jobs was the Obsession campaign that you shot when you were 19. Working with just a camera and a
20.
Oh, wow, someone fact-checked these cards. Trying to get me in trouble. You were 20 when you shot Obsession, working with just a camera and a couple rolls of film. What did those early constraints teach you that still influences or resonates with your work today?
I don't look at those early years as constraining in any way. Once I picked up a camera and started doing photography, I became very interested in the technical aspects of photography, learning about printing and developing and light and lenses and the camera. So those early years working with manual cameras and in a dark room. And
did you have a teacher, or who was sort of teaching you some of these? That's like when it was hard.
No, I didn't have a teacher. I had a lot of teachers. I was very lucky at the time because I was doing some modeling and working with some very good photographers, and I was learning a lot just by watching them work and just dove into books. Just bought books, read. No internet at the time, so it was a lot of books. And
Do you still shoot film or go in dark rooms anymore? It seems almost like it's becoming obsolete technology.
I don't shoot film anymore. Half of my archive is film, so I still scan now a lot of my old film to print it. I'm not opposed to shooting film. For me, it's photography, something that I can just grab it and do it. And digital photography has become that for me. When I do digital photography, those years of shooting film and being in a darkroom definitely inform my digital photography. So those constraints were very important, educational, or those lessons, for what we do now. And what was the rest of the question?
That was it. Intimacy and trust are at the heart of your work. How do you create that magical connection on set?
When I first started taking pictures, it was always just me and the subject. It was very intimate. I didn't have a team. I didn't have assistants. There were no stylists. We were doing everything. We were doing the hair, the makeup, the styling. And those first few years, making pictures and working with your subject to create images just taught me how to be intimate with people. And I always felt that what we were creating was something important for both of us. So I always treat my subjects as collaborators in the artwork. We're creating something together. So I feel that happens best in the intimacy, like it's like dancing, slow dancing together or something like that.
Well, and there's definitely a connection in life, but certainly we see it in your work, between intimacy and innocence. And in the past, you've spoken about experimenting with innocence. You've now been taking pictures for three decades. How do you still find innocence or fresh perspectives? Is there a process?
I'm always learning. I don't ever feel like I'm still learning. I'm still trying to figure out new things. So I guess that's a form of innocence in a way, not feeling like you know everything and learning from, right now I'm getting refreshed actually by my daughter because she's taking pictures. So it's really fun to see her and her energy, and it reminds me of when I was young. So I'm learning again. I'm relearning.
That's perfect. Our next question is, your daughter Gray is now shooting campaigns. What's it like watching her bring her own vision to the industry? Does she ask you for tips? Has she asked you not to give her tips?
We're very close. So of course, from the beginning, she picked up a camera when she was 15. So always teaching her and giving her tips and, trying to show her a little bit about lighting, but it kind of like she's the type of person that takes things in, but only takes the things that she cares about, and the rest goes out the window. So, and I guess that's a good thing, because then they become her own in a way. But we share a lot, and she helps me sometimes. I'm like, hey, which picture do you like better? What do you think? Do you like this? And then she'll throw something back at me that I say to her, like, it doesn't matter what I think, it matters what you think. Yeah.
2 nights ago, or whenever we were here, was that 2 nights ago, 3 nights, whatever?
Or last night.
Was it last night? I can't remember. So much fun. You said this is a great time for photography. I think that you probably mentioned all the young talent emerging, but also there's a lot of barriers. Everyone has a camera now. What excites you most about young photography today?
There's a lot of really amazing young photographers out there. I see images coming out all the time, and the work that I see is always experimental and interesting and personal, and whether it has to do with culture or gender or whatever. People, I feel like people are really asking very powerful questions through their work, and I find that really interesting. And I think we are in a time that is liberating us, but also trying to constrain us at the same time. And I see young artists kind of expressing themselves and expanding against the contraction, and I find that really exciting. And a lot of the young photographers seem to be shooting film, which is really, I think, great, because I think that foundation is really important.
Where do you find, do you look on Instagram? Or
On Instagram, yeah. I'm on Instagram, and yeah, I'm basically on Instagram and social media.
So everyone should just DM you if they have some photography they need. Of course, you've shot Calvin Klein, who we've spoken about, and Louis Vuitton, now Zara. Each collaboration reaches different audiences. What draws you to working across so many different worlds?
I don't really look at them as different worlds. I just do my thing. And, sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. So for me, it's really about, for some reason, when I first started taking pictures, something about it made me realize that this was something I could do for my entire life. So for me, it's not about what I'm doing right now, but it's more about what I can do with the time that I have, and keep growing and learning. And so.
Did you realize that when you were 18 and picked up the first camera?
I did. I don't know why. I was very lucky.
Snapped?
Like, something was like, hey, this is like, I could see myself doing this.
Do you ever still dabble with painting or sculpture?
I do. I draw all the time. My wife is a sculptor, so she does a lot of works in ceramics a lot. So we work together a lot. Yeah.
We mentioned Zara upstairs. The jacket you created transforms one of your favorite photographs into something wearable. What's it like seeing your imagery literally wrapped around someone's body?
Well, first of all,
what was
this was really fun to do, because it's something I've never done before. And trying to figure out first what I was going to do was, not that easy, because there were so many options. It was like, Zara is incredible. They were like, whatever you want to do, So, and it was during the winter, and I'm from New York, so we're like big coat people.
You were cold.
I was freezing, and I thought, well, let's do a puffer, because this, and also, like, that kind of jacket for me is really about from where I grew up. It's a sense of style as well, So I was like, yeah, a puffer is like perfect, because I don't want to do a sweatshirt or a T-shirt, and I was like, a puffer is perfect. It represents my youth and the way I grew up, and also I'm quite a technical gear freak and stuff. So I was like, let's make a really good one that's like very excellent materials, and I didn't want to just put a picture on it that was too figurative in any way. I wanted to become part of the style and the clothes, and I did a series of images that were all about abstracting the image, not through Photoshop, but through the process of making the image. So we chose those images and printed them on the jacket, and I like that it looks like splattered paint or bird shit or whatever, you know?
It's very New York.
Yeah.
Is it one image or is it like a
It's
composite?
2 images. It's 1 image in the front and 1 image in the back.
Got it.
Yeah.
But it's like it's a picture of an abstract image or
It's
a piece of an
It's
image?
actually a photo session. This is a very strange session of photos that I did because I actually participated in the making of the images as well. So we built a corner out of black canvases, and then with black and white paint, we covered our bodies in the paint and the walls and each other, and then I was photographing the event, like taking pictures of the subject that I was shooting, doing it, and my assistant was taking pictures of us doing it as well. So
the
it was
paint,
kind of
yeah.
like,
Well, you were covered in paint yourself.
I was
Got
covered
it.
in paint as well.
This
yeah.
was something that you were doing for sort of personal work, or you wanted to do that to create the image that ended up on
It
the
was
jacket?
personal work. It was really, for like a year, I was trying to figure out how do I abstract the image without using Photoshop? How do we do this? And so it was just an experiment, you know. And we went in, and I wanted to document the event, and obviously photograph the event, but also be part of the event because I wanted the whole thing to be more like a performance piece in a way.
How often do you make time for personal work like that?
I do personal work. For me, it's like something that builds up.
Yeah.
It's an emotion, and you get a feeling, and then slowly through months, that emotion becomes something a little more tangible, and the ideas, and then you put together what you think might produce these ideas, and then you do it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it works, and sometimes not. But that could, that usually takes a year, maybe. For me, I'm kind of slow, so like that kind of thing builds up, and then.
I mean, that sounds almost like a painter's process, right? That you think about stuff, it takes time, there's...
I work from a
more fine art point.
well, from an interior place somewhere, kind of allow things to come through me in a way somehow.
Yeah.
Give it time.
Which a lot of people don't, time is, I think, now the ultimate luxury. I'm happy you still have time for that, and I feel like we're always on the go. Looking at fashion photography today, the immediacy, the global reach, what opportunities does this create that didn't exist when you started?
I mean, I think there is a lot more opportunities today through digital photography and social media and the exposure that anybody can get from, putting something out and something going viral or something like that, being able to reach, millions of people. Before we had a magazine that maybe had 20,000 readers, and now you have these platforms that have millions of followers and stuff. So the reach is multiplied incredibly. So that's the part of the reason why I started doing magazines is because of that reach.
Yeah.
I was like, I want everybody to be able to see the work. I think the art world is amazing, but it's very small in a way, and it's very exclusive. And I really like the idea of being able to share with more people. Yeah.
Wrapping up, Mario, it's incredible to see so much of your magazine work from the 90s come back. We're definitely at a moment of nostalgia. How does it feel when those pictures pop back up on the internet and young people are discovering them for the first time?
It's nice. It's good. It's I don't revisit my archives very often. So when things come up, it's always nice to kind of, you're like, oh yeah, I remember that. And you know, a lot of you start to notice the difference between digital and film. A lot of the images that pop up are reproductions of magazines, so there's definitely a degrading of the image, which is funny. But yeah, it's nice to see old work pop up, and it's incredible that people actually like it and get off on it and stuff. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, thank you, Mario.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for coming, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.